Everybody, welcome. We're gonna just give it another minute and then we'll get started. All right, I think we're good, Sean. So, everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. Again, my name is Michael Watson. I'm the Director of Customer Success here at Halight, and I'm excited to welcome you to today's town hall. And we have a special presentation lined up to walk you through the first half of the 2026 Halight LMS Roadmap, specifically focused on obviously what's ahead. And as always, we encourage your participation. There is a Q&A section here in Teams, so please feel free to drop your questions in here throughout the session. I will call out that there is a slight delay, so we may have jumped to the next topic before your questions are read and addressed, but we'll do our best to stay linear with that. Quick note, this town hall is being recorded and we'll be sharing it on our Conduit Learn site early next week. So you'll have full access to revisit or share with your teams. And that's also for some of our customers that aren't able to make it on today's call. With that being said, I will hand it over to Sean Bridgman, who is Halight's head of product, to get us started.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I know it's Friday, and Fridays can be hard to hop on these heavy meetings, but it seems to be when we get the best attendance. So we appreciate it. We love to see you here. We love the feedback. We love the questions. All right. So my goal today is to walk you through Halight's 2026 roadmap. And I'm going to take myself off the screen just so we can focus on the content. And the goal of this session is going to be understanding the direction that Halight is going, understanding our thoughts and our perspective on the current market and trends that we're seeing today. And and hopefully it's informative. Hopefully it gives clear insight on the key themes that we're marching towards in the first half. So Q1, Q2 of 2026. So like all roadmaps, if you sat through a roadmap with me, there's always this slide, which is the safe harbor slide, just indicating that these are forward-looking statements. If this was a drug commercial, this would be the area at the end where they talk very fast and rattle through a bunch of side effects. I'm not going to do that. What I will say here is that these are they represent what we want to accomplish and where the product and direction is heading. They're not firm commitments or obligations for what we're delivering. All right, so unlike this roadmap where I typically jump right in, I want to take a moment to just give a kind of an overview of the landscape, who Halight is, the product that we offer, and then how we're viewing the market and strategic bets that we're making. So first, I'm going to talk about what we know to be true. And the first one is that AI is becoming a commodity, not a differentiator. So AI is exploding everywhere, and agentic AI has changed the game. It's been the centerpiece of every major LMS, and what it's allowing us to do, it's allowing us to automate everything from course creation to workflow generation to setting up these programs and reporting, all of that good stuff. AI is now handling tasks that we once did or once had instructional designers do. It's fantastic. It's increased productivity, and it's allowed us to be able to accomplish more than we were able to be before. We're entering a world where creating content and programs is no longer the bottleneck. AI can do what would take often weeks before. But with that change, it's important to think about what a lot of the LMS companies are out there are doing, and really the narrative that we're seeing is that they're obsessed with the producer of these programs, and those are the people that are actually creating these LMSs. They're the buyers, the people that are pushing content out. And all of these vendors, we could get fatigued by trying to learn another name for an AI agent copilot or virtual assistant. But none of these are bad things. The only downside about it is that what we're seeing in the space is that by focusing on the producer, we're not emphasizing the learner experience, that the front end, the human engagement layer, is being stagnant or left neglected. And the real hang up here is that faster production does not equal better learning, and that these programs can get built bigger and bigger than ever before and faster, but it doesn't necessarily mean a higher completion rate, depth of engagement, creating habits. So from our perspective, innovation is how the content is experienced, not how it's produced. The third point here, what we know to be true is that the LMS and software space as a whole really they're expanding into become more. Consumers of LMS products are asking more of them, whether it's, well, that's great, but I need a talent management component, or I need learning management and content management. I need knowledge management as part of it. I need frontline management tools to help me run my operations at the frontline level. All of these are great things. They're the expectation of the consumer is pushing the space to be more competitive. It's pushing all of the product companies within these LMS companies to further refine their niche and get better at the one area or problem that they're trying to solve. The expansion into productivity tools is something that we're going to continue to see over the next year in 2026. And you're going to have tools that are expected to do more, synthesize more, and deliver more value. So that one I really enjoy. But the last one that if I really enjoyed that one, I really don't enjoy this one. It's that there's a general convergence that the learning category is drifting to the sameness. This idea that in order to compete, there's the same feature set. You need to hit on the same outcomes. You need the same messaging, and that it can be frustrating looking at the market and seeing this almost a game of like a it's like a parrot companies mirroring each other. And what the fear is from the Halight side is that automation is exploding, but engagement is not. Learners in their first experience with your platform is really that's the first impression. And if they're frustrated and overwhelmed, why would they want to come back? So in this picture, you have all of these people, these producers honing in, looking at charts, pushing things out. But if you're not conscious about the individual, the human that is consuming your program, then you can leave them unenergized and they can churn or lose affinity with your program. And here's just a visual of what DevLearn and all of the material coming out of DevLearn looked like. The amount of AI first learning platforms that transform learning is astounding. It's an amazing tie for first place across the board. But this is the idea. If you're seeing it out there, it's the almost like a Control-C, Control-V of some of the terminology in this space and the messaging. AI has a tremendous amount of power to do good and create productivity. But unless it's rooted in value, unless it's rooted in the end user, that's the only caution that we're seeing within the space. Let's talk about why we're different and our advantage in this space. We've always believed that learning is an energy problem, and it's not necessarily a content problem. And we've been at this for over 20 years, and people don't, what we landed on is that people don't struggle to access content, they struggle to care about the content. And engagement is not created through the volume of content that you're creating. Therefore, the longer the module, the more expansive the catalog, it does not always equal more engagement. You need to meet the learner where they are. You need to show the what's in it for me. You need to have that progression, both intrinsic and extrinsic, to be able to show them how your program is moving them forward in their life. And here we have the Halight, excuse me, we have the Halight Current, which is our process to engage teams and to drive, repeat habit forming visits from the end user. So along the outside, we have align and amplify. These are the ability to drive key KPIs and then monitor and continue to drive those KPIs forward. Those act as a flywheel that the better your program is running, the faster that flywheel spins. In the middle, you have three key components: fuel, ignite, and empower. Fuel is what you're delivering in your program. It's the content that end users are interacting with. Ignite is the spark that keeps them engaged and delivers that sense of dopamine, gets them excited and wants to do more. Empower allows them to understand their forward progression, what they're actually gaining from your platform and why they want to keep coming back. Okay, I'm just going to talk about this narrative, and then I'm going to go into some strategic bets, and then talk about the roadmap itself. So just wanted to highlight again the difference between the producer and the consumer, because there's this duality that LMSs cater to. When you think of an LMS, you think that an LMS competes with another LMS from a product perspective, but the market is very different because there's very different problems in the learning space, because there's this need for an LMS to do more. The LMS market doesn't necessarily always compete with each other. For example, an LMS like Halight LMS often competes with something like a YouTube, a TikTok, or an Instagram, because if our users, our learners, are on the store floor or the showroom or in the office and they're not completing content, they might have time to kill. They might be on YouTube or on TikTok. And the funny thing about the LMS space is that they have these two personas, the producer and the consumer. It's almost like building a product like a Shopify or a YouTube or an Uber, where you have these two different user groups where there needs to be a balance and you need to deliver value to both in order for the product to be successful. So for the producer, what do they care about? They're the buyer of the LMS, and they're the ones responsible for creating the program. And they're motivated by scaling these learning programs efficiently and then driving the key learning outcomes, selling it into their organization. And then finally, the consumer is the learner. They're the ones consuming the content. They're motivated by a more selfish motivation. What benefits them functionally, socially, and emotionally? So those are the things that we need to think about. And the important part here is that when the learner experience improves, every other KPI that the producer cares about improves as well. All right, so I'm going to run through 4 high-level strategic bets, and then I'm going to talk about the features that we're looking at this half of the year. So strategic bets for 2026. The industry is betting on automation, and we're betting on experience. So every LMS is pouring its energy into building faster, automating workflows, reducing admin workload through AI. And these things are good, and we're investing in them. We're going to continue to invest in them. But here's what the industry is missing. This automation improves production, but it doesn't improve motivation. It increases content, it does not increase learning, and it speeds up creation, but it does not spark transformation. And the strategic bet here is grounded in the belief that learning only works when humans care enough to engage. Okay, next, AI will make program creation a commodity. So when we're creating a program, it will be a lot easier and more transactional to build these things. That's the strategic bet that we're making. Agentic AI will let anyone build anything faster, but more fuel, going back to the Halight method, doesn't mean faster acceleration. And the quality of these programs are going to come from the quality of the experience, the depth of the engagement, the strength of the habits, making it clear what's in it for me. You need to have these things in order to understand how you're connecting and delivering value to your learner. Next, learner motivation is the untapped growth engine. The learner is a multiplier. So if we can hit the learner in stride and they're energized, all other KPIs will increase, whether it's completions, retention, program ROI, skill development. It's all about gathering a captive audience and delivering value to our learner. And then finally, doubling down on the consumer doesn't mean that we're ignoring the producer. So we want to focus on the consumer. We want to continue to drive delight in that experience. Our platform feels like a consumer app, and we want to continue to double down in that it needs to be experiential. They need to feel something when they use our product, but that doesn't mean we're walking away from automation. In fact, we're building the virtual assistants, the coaching engines, KPI engines, event-based automation, all of that is things that you're going to see. A roadmap, like every LMS and software provider out there, has AI all over the place in it. But the important distinction here is that it's a consumer first approach where we want to be able to energize them because everything else falls into place. Okay, let's talk about the actual features now. So with the features, I broke it down, or we broke down rather, into the 4 producers and 4 consumers, and I'll talk a little bit about the what and the why for each of them. So starting with 4 producers. First, we have Mindsmith AI. Mindsmith is a partnership that we're launching in the first quarter of 2026, and it will allow you to use natural language to build complex or comprehensive e-learning directly into your platform. So you will be able to use, you're the subject matter expert, and the platform is the builder. It will be the instructional designer. It can be your graphic designer, your writer. It pieces everything together. You have the editing capabilities where you can push this to other people on your team, allow them to comment on it. You have multilingual out of the box, supporting, I believe, over 50 languages, all within one content file. And you have the ability to do all of this in minutes, not hours, not days. So this is an integration and a partnership that we're really excited for. It will be a buy license fee associated with it. So if you're interested in understanding more about the integration with Mindsmith AI and Halight LMS, please reach out to your CSMs. Essentially, this will be an option within the content flow. When you're creating content, there'll be a new option. It will take you directly into this area where you can add maybe PowerPoint documents or PDFs or just natural language, and then let the AI magic do it for you and publish it directly into Halight LMS without leaving your natural flow. So we're really excited about that. That will be in version 31. So not this upcoming version demo, but the following version demo, we're going to be able to see what that flow looks like. And very excited for questions and feedback there. Okay, the next item is a upgrade to our virtual assistant. So in the back half of 2025, we built a virtual assistant, and we're starting to go into a closed beta. And that virtual assistant, if you recall, allows you to perform actions in the admin using natural language. So whether it's, hey, take this PDF and build me a content item with a quiz, or create a group with all users from this organization, or find me a user named Sean Bridgman, or create me a new user named Sean Bridgman. Common workflows that we're seeing today, we want to try to make them faster, more streamlined, more efficient. And what we want to do in this half of the year is also make them voice enabled. So allow you to talk to Halight LMS on the back end and have the AI actually create these and curate your program just through natural language. So in addition to being able to provide context through like assets or uploads, you can just use your voice as well. Okay, next, content gaps. So this is an iteration on Coach on Q. Coach on Q is entering beta, closed beta this month. So some customers received an invite. We're doing more customers as a short second round, and then we're going to do an open beta likely in the late February, early March phase to allow for iteration. But if you're not familiar with Coach on Q, it's an agentic AI coach. You set up a simulation, what you want to go through, whether it's overcoming an objection, handling a difficult customer, and you run through that scenario with an AI. It has a persona. You can talk to it. It feels like a natural conversation. It has emotion that it expresses along the way, and then you're scored on a report card of how you performed. The next iteration that we want to introduce is allowing the learner to take, or the producer, the people running these programs, to take the insights from these conversations and then identify patterns. The system will identify patterns to show you at scale in these simulations, where are your learners falling down, and what content can you produce or push to fill these gaps? So if we're talking about assessments in the learning space, it's typically a qualitative push or qualitative data that's been very difficult to mine for quantitative results. This tool will allow us to do that, and it'll allow us to do it autonomously and iteratively. So it's going to happen without intervention, and it will be updated consistently. Great. Okay, so the next is workflow automation. In the last half of 2025, we allowed groups to be event-based. So not only can you define or personalize your audience by who your user is, but now you can also do it by what they do within the platform. This will be an expansion onto that feature, and it will allow us to be able to branch or set up multiple scenarios. So if and then statements. If the user does this, then do that. And also we want to include exclusions. So if they did this, but they did not do that, allow them to branch or choose the scenario that they go to. This is going to allow you as customers to get extremely personalized on all of your different key workflows, whether that would be your onboarding experience, your activation experience, your retention experience, or whatever key drivers help to move the needle for your business. Okay, fantastic. So let's switch gears a little bit. That was on the producer side. Let's talk about our consumers, our end users, the lifeline to our platform. So with this, we want to focus on a few key areas in the first half of 2026. First, instant impact onboarding. So we've done a lot of work with our registration to make it highly configurable to meet different needs at the customer level and at the individual user type level within each customer. However, we think that there's more that can be done here. And this isn't recreating registration. Rather, this is identifying the key friction points in registration and finding automation to them. We want to make it easier for users to sign up, and we want to make it more fun for them to go through this. Our platform it is vibrant, it's fun, it's refreshing, but our registration doesn't always give off that same feel. And that's our first impression. So I'll give an example. Maybe gamification starts at the beginning. You start earning points as soon as you hit the sign up button, and you get additional bonus points for completing it right then and there. Maybe the geolocation of the user is collected. That's been a feedback item that we definitely want to pursue. Understanding where the user is so that we can better match them to an organization and a location that they belong to when they're accessing the platform through registration, and making that available both on the mobile app side of things and on the website. Micro engagement and daily loops. So we delivered streaks in the back half of 2025, and we've received good feedback, and users are engaging at a rate that we're happy with. We want to continue to iterate on streaks, but then give users more reasons to want to come back in a way that doesn't require you as customers or us as Halight to be able to manage this on a day-by-day basis. So micro engagement or daily loops are these projects that will be shipped that will allow us to be able to have a more set it and forget it way of giving users value daily, giving our learners a reason to come back, delivering them value without having us have to create content or e-learning for them every day. So that could be a quick challenge, the ability for them to challenge their friends, the ability to have location-based challenges, to be able to say, okay, we're competing with this location against this location on a different game, or amount of points that you can have, or a streak, whatever that might be. Individualized coaching notes that come back, personalized recommendations for content or how they can grow, different streaks, nudges for peers or users to complete items, lightweight games that have leaderboards that have rewards tied directly in with them. The idea here is repeatable and consistent learning habits to get people to come back. Okay, the next one is learning in the flow of work. And this is something that's used very often, especially it's becoming a little bit of a buzzword in the learning space, but I want to clarify what this means for us. So learning happens everywhere, and we want to be able to meet the learner in stride. So this will inevitably mean MMS, SMS, Slack, Teams, or email messages at the user's personalized channel, what they prefer to be reached on, with learning tips. So it could be actual tidbits of training. It could be personalized recommendations or coaching notes. But it's a way of being able to connect with the learner in a way and allow them to be able to get value from the platform even when they're not logged in. And the back end to this, the more of the technical side, is that really what we're doing is setting ourselves up for more agentic orchestration, so agent to agent communication. It's the way that things are flowing. Halight LMS has an MCP, model context protocol server, being built out in version 30. So I'm going to talk about that in the demo next week a little bit more and what that means. But it enables us to be able to communicate with platforms and systems that natively we just could never integrate with previously, and it allows us to be able to create complex workflows with lightweight administration. Okay, next, knowledge-powered search. This one's my personal favorite because it represents a technical challenge that our team is working through. So knowledge-powered search is that our search doesn't need to only deliver results based on keywords, title, or a description. It can deliver results based on the actual content that you have uploaded. So this would be anytime you upload a content item, a video, an e-learning, the application, the platform would be able to scrape all of the text out of that asset that you upload. And then all of the body of that material can be used in search. It changes the narrative or the paradigm from I want to search for this content to now I have an application, a tool that acts as a just-in-time delivery mechanism for the information that I need when I need it. So my search results might change from I want to find this course to help me understand the key benefits between X and Y product, or help me understand the statutory holidays for my employer. And it's pulling the actual information from the content that we have, and then it's supplying a leave behind. If you want to view the whole content item, just with one click, you can go in and take the training, but you don't have to because the information is served up to you when you need it. The technical challenge here, we're seeing this a lot in the market, where this is relatively straightforward to do with videos and documents, but e-learning, nobody has done this effectively yet, where you can scrape the content. You can't necessarily scrape the content from the file, the zip package of an e-learning, because there's a lot that's compiled in different areas, and a lot of it is actually embedded within the code. So what we're working through is working on a headless agent that will actually take your course for you from start to finish and extract the text as it goes, almost like an autonomous testing tool, and it will extract the text that way. But in the future, it will allow us to do some really cool stuff, like evaluate the sentiment of your content, the usability, the accessibility, so on and so forth. And then finally, the last deliverable for consumers, we want to add more experiential coaching and simulations. So like I said, Coach IQ is going into beta this month. So we're really excited to start showing that off and getting feedback to customers. And this is allowing us to create a more dynamic and richer environment, adding new scenarios, deeper personalization, and more insightful coaching notes. The ability to take your feedback and push this application even further than where we've pushed it already. Excellent. So I thank everyone for the time. Thank everyone for going through this presentation with me and with Michael on the call. yeah, I would love to open it up to any Q&A and answer any questions that we have.
Perfect. We've been monitoring that. I don't think anything has come through, but we'll definitely keep going with that. Sean, that was wonderful. Thank you for that. Just to close this out, thank you everyone for taking the time to join us today. We hope you found the roadmap presentation helpful and gave you a clear view of what's coming next for Halight LMS and how we're continuing to evolve, especially in the first half of 2026. So like Sean alluded to, if you have any questions or want to dive a little bit deeper, please reach out to your customer success manager directly, and we can triage that appropriately. And as mentioned earlier, the recording of today's town hall will be made available on the Conduit Learn site later on, and we'll make sure access details are shared with all of you after the call. One last call out is that our version 30 demo presentation will be next Friday, and invitations will be sent out soon if you have not received them already. And lastly, just on behalf of everyone here at Halight, thank you for your continued partnership. We're excited about what's ahead and look forward to working closely with each and every customer as we move forward. So with that being said, have a great day, have a great weekend, and to some of our friends, have a great long weekend. Thanks, everybody.